In this video, we're going to talk about 3 ways you can break the inconsistency loop. But first, let me ask you this. At night, do you promise yourself that tomorrow will be different? And then break that promise when the day starts? This happens because of your second voice, which I call the self. Here's the problem. You have your priorities and the self has its own. When the two clash, your goals and priorities pay the price. In this video, we'll talk about the 3 goals the self is designed to achieve, the loop the self creates, and 3 ways you can break that loop. By the end of this video, you'll be able to spot the self in real time before it costs you another goal. Now, it's important for you to understand that the self isn't trying to ruin your plans. It's doing exactly what it's built to do. And once you start understanding that design, everything starts making sense. Let's look at what the self's job actually is. Goal number 1, pull you away from pain. This could be pain you feel when you deal with people that generate negative emotional energy in you, or physical pain that you feel when you do things that feel hard, like going to the gym. Goal number 2, push you toward pleasure. At every opportunity, the self will look for dopamine hits, the quick relief that feels like reward. Goal number 3, save your energy. The self pushes you towards whatever feels easy in the moment. It loves shortcuts because of the instant relief that feels like progress, even when it isn't. This illusion of busyness and productivity becomes our license to think that tomorrow will be better. These goals kept us alive as species. Think about it. Pain was a survival alert, so the brain learned to treat pain as danger. Pleasure was the brain's reward signal. If something helped us survive, it made us feel good. And energy had to be saved because the next meal was never guaranteed. Today, we are living in a modern world, but our brains are still using software from millions of years ago. And that software creates a loop. The self pulls you towards something, you act, you get a quick hit of dopamine or relief, and your brain learns the pattern. Repeat it enough times, and that loop runs on autopilot. Here's an example of how this actually plays out in real life, and you will probably recognize this. You pick up your phone with one intention and find yourself checking something else on impulse. 2 minutes disappear. You come back to you mode and realize you never did the thing you were meant to do. This loop feels powerful because it runs before you notice it. But the good news is you can break it. Here's how. 1. Catch the self early. When the self whispers, just 5 more minutes, or we'll do it tomorrow, stop and say, that's the self, not me. The moment you do that, you switch off self mode. 2. Lower the energy cost of starting. Remember we said that one of the self's main goals is to save your energy? Because of that, effort feels expensive to the self. So to get working on something, make the start low cost. Don't say, I'll work on project X for 2 hours. Rather say, I'll sit on my desk and open the document to work on project X. Once you start a task, you shift into you mode and the self loses some of its power. 3. Build a structure that supports your goals. To achieve a goal, you need to plan for the time, attention, motivation, and energy that goal needs. These are your TAME resources. If those 4 resources aren't aligned, your consistency drops and the self steps in. Here's something most people don't realize. We don't fail because our goals are unrealistic. We fail because our TAME resources pull us in different directions, causing us to feel exhausted and overwhelmed. Learning how to bring your TAME resources into sync is a skill that requires a video on its own. So if you're interested in mastering that skill, watch the video that I've linked in the description. For more about the self and how to stay consistent, hit the subscribe button. Now, heads up, the self will resist that as much as it can because it doesn't like to be exposed. Make sure you decide if you want to subscribe, not the self. If you would like to mute the self's voice right now, leave a comment on one way the self likes to take over your day. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Thank you for your time and stay in you mode.